Items removed for separate consideration. Item 3, is there a motion?
Move.
It's been moved and second on item 3. Discussion. In favor, opposed, granted.
Item 4, is there a motion?
Move.
It's been moved and second on item 4. Discussion. In favor, opposed, granted.
Item 5 is a resolution, just need a vote.
Motion.
No, we need
Oh, wait a minute.
a motion.
I pulled too many files.
It's rodeo time.
Okay, 5, we need a motion.
It's been moved and second. Discussion on
I'd like
Councilmember
to tag
Edwards.
this item.
Okay, will you hold for a second?
For discussion.
For discussion.
Yes, Mayor.
Councilmember Kubash.
Mayor, could we get a detailed report on how many helicopters we have total in our fleet?
Absolutely.
And how many pilots we have, just so we'll know. Thank you.
Absolutely. Okay, this item is being tagged by Councilmember Edwards.
I just need a vote.
Tagged. It's tagged by Councilmember Edwards.
Okay, item 7, is there a motion?
Move.
Tag.
Been moved and second. Who's tagging?
I am, sir.
Oh, Davis, I'm sorry.
Davis.
Okay. Item 7 is being tagged by Vice Mayor Pro Tem Davis.
Item 9, now that is the resolution, just need a vote.
On item 9, Councilmember Stark on item 9.
Yes, can I get an understanding of the within the 1 mile of similar property receiving tax credits? I'd like to understand why we're going this direction. We've had discussion from the public about putting so many together, and over the years, I can tell the experience we've had in Spring Branch that after many years, it doesn't play out well. So while it may sound good in the beginning, in the long run, I'm concerned about it. And we have very little control over these things. So
Okay.
if I could just understand better about that.
Okay. Vice Mayor Pro Tem Davis.
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, since in that proximity, they have to get council's approval. And we did Clemmy Manor, which was done about 2 or 3 years ago with the Round 2 Ike Fund, and to get that up and moving under the stricter operating procedures. And now we're asking for the St. Elizabeth's Place to do the same thing, affordable rental property. And our community likes it, they want it, and so I'm asking my colleagues to support it.
And another thing is, too, one of the reasons why they seek this resolution is to get our approval, but you look to see Texas Department of Housing and Community Development, look to see whether or not those other projects that are near are stabilized and full. And once they determine that they are stabilized and full, and that having this one will not have a deleterious effect on the community, then they simply ask for a resolution. That's the reason. Okay. Vice Mayor Pro Tem Davis, you would? Okay. Councilmember Knox.
Thank you, Mayor. I have a notation on mine that's untaggable. What's the purpose of the untag? I mean, why the untaggable designation?
Applications are due tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Councilman Stardick.
Thank you, Mayor. I think that understanding the due diligence part of this, understanding that, as I highlighted, I believe yesterday, the concern of we're issuing permits to property owners that are not responsible property owners that have used and abused some of our communities. So I just want to make sure, just like, with the post-Harvey world, this is something that I'm sensitive to as far as multifamily, and making sure that we're protecting those folks that live on the properties that cannot not always report issues because of the fact that they may not, they're afraid of losing their home, of their socioeconomic status. There's so many reasons that they won't report issues. So we need to make sure that we're going above and beyond. And as you heard from evidently a Chronicle accounting, that we just reinforce of our good work, the message that the things that we've been working on, that we need to make sure that we're just watching out for everyone, and that's why I'm asking the question on these. If you feel that strongly that the department has done their due diligence, and Councilmember, you support it, I will support it as well. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other discussion on item 9? In favor? Opposed? Granted on item 9.
Okay, item 11 is an ordinance.
On item 11, Councilmember Kubash on item 11.
Mayor, is this the only Felix Street in Houston? This little short street, 'cause my first name's Felix. Are they doing away with this thing?
No, I think they said that your name was enough, and they didn't need another one. So,
well, I looked at it, and it's just a real short little dead end street.
right.
So,
and I think this is for Baker Ripley as well.
all right. Well,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any other discussion on item 11? In favor? Opposed? Granted.
Okay, item 12 is an ordinance.
On item 12, discussion on 12. Discussion. In favor? Opposed? Granted.
Item 17 is an ordinance.
On item 17, discussion on 17. Vice Mayor Pro Tem Davis.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to give kudos to Director of Health and Human Services and Noel Pinnock. Just trying to, put some pieces together in these areas. Earlier, we voted on an item for the Freedom School for Wheatley and Cashmere, and also another school. But also now this is more reaching out further, and I think Councilmember Cisneros is involved in this one. So I want to thank you, and I thank the director again and Noel for reaching out and involving other council members, because a few years ago I put in some of my council district service budget to help. And so I guess, it would be fitting that 2 former teachers, are trying to help out and make our community. Because when we talk about social justice reform, it goes back to education.
Right.
And we talk about complete communities, it goes back to education. So, again, I appreciate them, and I thank you for your support, ma'am.
Thank you. And Councilmember Cisneros?
You're right. When I learned about how wonderful this program is and the great benefits it has to some young men that are falling through the cracks, and how this lifts and supports them and really helps them to be successful, I thought, I need this. Not just I need it for my district. We need it for so many of our kids and all across Houston. But I was really happy to have the opportunity to work with the director and look for a way that I could support it moving into Sam Houston High School. So I've committed $30,000 to get that going there, and I hope that it will grow and we can get some of the feeder schools eventually as part of that too. Because right now it's in Scarborough, Cashmere, and Wheatley, but there's such a need around Sam Houston High School and those feeder schools as well.
Thank you. And Councilmember Borkins.
Thank you, Mayor. I too want to echo the hard work of Director Wright and Noah Freeman with this program. It's a great program. Look forward to continuing to support it. Steve Williams. Who I said? Steve Williams, Health Department.
Director Williams and Noah Pinnock.
Yeah. Is his last name
Pinnock?
Pinnock.
P-I-N-N.
I always thought it was Freeman, but I like what he's doing. But no.
He's helping to set them free. And I too want to lend my support for this program and what they're doing in the My Brothers Keepers program. And quite frankly, what's happening here is becoming the model, and people are looking at it from throughout the country. So thank all of you for contributing and supporting the effort. Any other discussion on 17? In favor? Opposed? Granted on 17.
Item 19 is an ordinance.
Item 19, discussion on 19. In favor? Opposed? Granted on 19.
21 is an ordinance.
On item 21, discussion on 21. In favor? Opposed? Granted on 21.
24 is an ordinance.
On item 24, Discussion, Councilmember, and let me just say, 22 is now in, and we'll come back at the back end. So we'll come back on 22. It is now in, but now we're on 24. Councilmember Gallegos on 24.
Thank you, Mayor. This item will fund a comprehensive multimodal mobility study in Southeast Houston between 610, Highway 288, Beltway 8, and Galveston Road. I'm happy to be providing $35,000 from the District I Service Fund to help complete this study. Funding was also provided by the Gulfgate TERS and Planning Department. When completed, the plan will be used to guide the city's short-term and long-term multimodal mobility planning efforts and to identify implementation projects that will improve mobility and access in the Southeast. And Mayor, I'm also expecting that the study identifies options for eliminating the confusing traffic circle at the intersection of the Gulf Freeway and Broadway, as well as recommendations for extending the Green Line to the Hobby Airport.
Thank you. Vice Mayor Pro Tem Davis.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm glad you're happy with this, Councilmember Gallegos. This is one of the items that Councilmember Travis and I voted on in the HGAC and the mobility plan. And there's several mobility plans that have come through the city of Houston through HGAC within the last few years. So Fifth Ward, East End, this is, I think, part of the second one. So just want to say this is what we do when we go represent y'all.
Councilmember Kubash to thank Vice Mayor Pro Tem Davis.
Well, Mayor, when I heard Councilmember Gallegos talk about extending the Green Line to Hobby Airport, I said, what a novel idea. That should have been the first one we built. That's right. From downtown to the airports. So anyway, Mayor, I'm on board with that.
Thank you. Any other discussion on item 24? In favor? Opposed? Granted on item 24.
Okay, item 25 is an ordinance.
On item 25, discussion on 25, Vice Mayor Pro Tem Davis on 25.
Yes, Mayor. I want to tag this item.
All right. This item is being item 25 is being tagged by Vice Mayor Pro Tem Davis.
Item 26 is an ordinance.
On item 26, discussion on 26. In favor, opposed, granted on 26.
Item 27 is an ordinance.
Item 27, discussion on 27. In favor of, I'm sorry, Councilmember.
No.
27.
No.
Any discussion on 27? In favor, opposed, granted on 27.
Item 29 is an ordinance.
On item 29.
Tag.
This item on 29 is being tagged by Councilmember Green.
Thank you.
Item 30 is an ordinance.
On item 30.
Oh, that's fine.
On item 30. Discussion on 30. In favor, opposed, granted on 30.
31 is an ordinance.
On item 31. Discussion on 31. In favor, opposed, granted on item 31.
Item 33 is an ordinance.
On item 33. Discussion on 33. In favor, opposed, granted on 33.
36 is an ordinance.
On item 36. Discussion on 36. In favor, opposed, granted on item 36.
37 is an ordinance.
On item 37. Discussion on 37. In favor, opposed, granted on item 37.
38 is an ordinance.
On item 38, Councilmember Edwards on item 38. Okay. Item Councilmember Edwards passes. Councilmember Travis.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to make a record for clarification here. Although I do enjoy seeing my name in the agenda because it's there so seldom, 38 is not in my district. It's actually in Councilman Steve Lee's district. I just want to set the record straight. You can see that from the maps that are contained within there as well. All these projects are in District F, but thank you anyway.
Any other discussion on item 38? 38. In favor? Opposed?
Opposed.
granted. Show Councilmember Edwards voting no.
Item 41 is an ordinance.
On item 41, discussion on 41. Discussion. In favor, opposed, granted on item 41.
55 is an ordinance.
On item 55, discussion on 55. Discussion. In favor, opposed, granted on 55.
56 is an ordinance.
On item 56, discussion on 56. In favor, opposed, granted on item 56.
57 is an ordinance.
On item 57, discussion on 57. In favor, opposed, granted on item 57.
Okay, now we had